God damn it. What's wrong with you? Sit your ass down. Sit down. Shut up. What up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Danny, and welcome to the Clown World. Today, we're going to talk about my best friend in the world, Drake. See, I was going to do this video where I just put all kind of stuff about Drake together. But whilst I was doing it, I thought, let me just check on YouTube and see if someone already done this. So I checked and somebody already did it. So we're going to watch this video. First, before I even press play, this video is called Culture's Biggest Fraud, Drake. Video is made by Kamal. I don't know if I'm saying your name the right way. I'm sorry, my brother. I like to butcher people's name. Unfortunately, that's who I am. I'm the name butcherer. But we're going to watch this and we're going to see what my brother has put together. And I'm going to give my commentary as we go. All right. Let's go and see what Drake has for us in house.
Drake is the biggest fraud of our generation. And I don't even like saying that. I mean, I've been a semi-passive Drake fan since 2009. But since this Kendrick beef started, I've been going back and looking at not only Drake the artist, but Drake the person, and things are a lot worse than I could have imagined. I've been going down this rabbit hole for weeks now, and I have found some dark shit. So let's get started.
Man's never been in marquee when it's shut down, eh? Trust me, daddy.
The sad truth I've realized...
You know what I find interesting about the whole Drake situation is that people who are Drake's fan, most of them don't know the full history of this person. And also, most people who are Drake's fan, they don't want to accept the fact that the person they support is maybe not the person that he say he is.
Is that Drake is the #1 artist in a culture that he doesn't understand and has no interest in trying to understand. The truth is,
and also stories that I've heard about Drake is that his father, his black father, wasn't around, which is not a problem. We all have our things, you know what I mean? You know, some people, their father is there, but they're not there. So, but he's been raised by his mom. And his mom, she's Jewish, she's white. Obviously, he has a different culture. And he wasn't raised in the ghetto, you know. Let me let the video continue.
Graham is the polar opposite of the street rappers that he is. The truth is, Aubrey Graham is the polar opposite of the street rappers that he associates himself with. He is a Canadian child actor that was raised by a white Jewish woman. He is not whatever 21 Savage's,
which is not a problem. Okay? It doesn't matter who raised Drake. Okay, could be his mom, could be his dad. It doesn't matter. All that matters is he acting or is he a real gangster? Because most of the time, what I've find and read online is that most of the time when Drake had beef with you, he doesn't come. He sent people to come and do his dirty work.
Childhood was. I'm assuming it was rough.
It's really been my whole life, really, since I was born, you know what I'm saying? I've been involved with the street.
And as a fellow suburban, I am the last person that's gonna try to shame somebody for having a childhood like that. But Obs, when you put on 15 chains and a pair of Timbs to go shoot the worst behavior video so you can look tough and use a black kid as your poverty prop, I have to make fun of you, I'm sorry. It's so obvious that this is just a cornball who's paying for street cred, because we've all been reminded that this is who Drake really is.
Well, I'm more tired than you.
So what's up? You didn't get your sandwich.
No. Didn't.
Want to talk about it?
No. Get out of here. I didn't get my sandwich. I was looking forward to a nice tuna sandwich on a bagel.
Tuna? You eat tuna.
I clearly said, hey, can you please get me a tuna sandwich?
Oh, I thought you were kidding. Because you don't.
Oh, yeah.
And this is not saying that kids that grow up in a nice, safe environment don't end up becoming gangsters whatsoever. But you're not a gangster. You're not a thug.
Yeah, because
You don't
I definitely pull a joke. Joking about a tuna sandwich that I wanted.
You like chicken salad.
I'm just a regular comedian over here. Get me a tuna sandwich, Just joking.
Remember?
Now, whether he's trying to get this street cred to further his career or because he feels inadequate as a man, I don't know. But either way, it's unacceptable.
The greatest advice Wayne has ever given me And it's a constant, it's less of advice and more of a constant reminder, which I love him so much for saying this to me, is, you know, he's always just like, man, please be yourself.
And you see, why am I still fighting with this? I gotta lose this thing up a little bit. There you go. So I can do this. Yeah, that's better. Anyway, come here. So, you're moving to a little, hey, bro, you need to calm down, man, before I beat you up like Drake. You see Drake, how he talks about Lil Wayne. You know, how Lil Wayne is his mentor, how Lil Wayne is trying to teach him stuff, try to show him the ropes and everything. Then Lil Wayne goes to prison. Drake is there checking out Lil Wayne's girl. I mean, it's like, you know, he likes his woman with big ass. He likes his woman with nice curves and all that stuff. You know what Drake's like. I'm come on, man. One of his baby mom was an adult, whatever. You know this stuff. I ain't gotta tell you what you know. Anyway, so he's there checking out his mentor's woman. You know what I mean? Instead of like, you know what I mean? You know, like being a good guy. You know what I mean? You know, being a good guy, telling her like, listen, your man is not here, but if you need anything, holler at me, right? I might not show up, but I'll send someone to come A and B and C. You know what I mean? You know? But instead of doing that, he goes like, yo, your man ain't here. Holler at me. Let me put some pipe in you. This is the type of guy that you can't trust around your woman. You can't trust Drake around your woman. Not even around the fly.
So much for saying
because he might just literally try to be best friend with that fly.
He's just like, man, please be yourself. Please don't ever try and be me or anybody else.
The thing dead and trust me, headshot them bomb.
Don't ever go get tattoos. You don't have to dress any different, you know, because
see how one person contradict themselves so
I like from the day Wayne met me to now, I haven't changed anything about myself.
What happened? You can tell me. Wayne, why would Drake be himself when he can just pretend to be a bunch of other people? Because this is what Drake has become over these past 10 years or so. He sees a culture that has a buzz and that he has no genuine appreciation for, and attaches himself to it like a leech for clout, validation, and financial gain. He did it with the UK scene, the reggaeton scene.
I never got what the situation was between him and Sexy Red. I mean, I don't rate Sexy Red at all as a rapper or whatsoever. She's doing her thing. She's making the money. Hey, I mean, you know, if anyone is saying the inside of her inside is pink, she's doing her thing. But I never got it. Like, can someone please explain that to me? Or is it just, he's like, this guy.
The Caribbean scene, and now the Atlanta scene. Nothing about this dude is authentic, including his abs apparently, which is hilarious. It's so funny that he hasn't addressed the fake ab thing. No one's even talking about that. How sad is the day where you have to walk into a doctor's office for your fake ab surgery? Holy shit, that's pathetic. You're one of the most successful musicians of all time, and you're going under the knife for a fake six-pack. Like, you still need more confidence? You can't believe in yourself enough to just like be like, well, whatever. But you know what's even more tragic than Drake's lack of self-confidence? Dumb shit.
Appropriating is taking it for your own personal gain and denying that it was ever inspired from this.
What about when he took Drum's song, calling it the Cha-Cha remix without reaching out or anything? And then once the song started getting traction, he actually changed the name so he didn't have to associate his success with anyone else.
Just a little shocking because it came out as like the Cha-Cha
And you know
remix.
what? Your crazy thing is that song there was a banger. Imagine one of his biggest songs that this man has made. He actually, I mean, y'all seen the videos I did before about him stealing people's stuff, but
mix. You know what I'm saying?
As is, not really Hotline Bling. At the time,
right.
At the time,
I feel
it was
a
the
solid,
Cha-Cha
like,
remix.
2 weeks. So,
you can see how he was hurt, how this man was hurt. Like, you know, like someone you trust, someone you believe in. Maybe you thought he was your friend, and then they went and stab you like that. Take maybe one of the songs that could have make you the biggest thing in the world, and then Drake just Draked it.
I don't know. It's just really weird. I ain't getting no reach out, no nothing or whatever.
And then when Drum confronts him in person, instead of dealing with it like a man, he sicks his bodyguards on him like a pussy-ass supervillain.
Hey, somebody tell Drake to shut the up about that. He never even touched me, nigga. I pressed his ass. Bodyguards, goddamn. I ain't gonna hold you. His bodyguards went to town on the kid. But his bodyguards in, not his ass.
It just goes to show that it's always about him. I mean, how can you say you care for the culture and then have lyrics like this?
You've got my mind in a terrible place, whipped and chained like American slaves.
My mom would fly across the country to beat my ass if I ever even considered putting some shit like that in a song. What is wrong with you? And you can't even use the excuse like, oh, you know, he's young and ignorant. He wrote this as a 36-year-old man with a child or 3, possibly. An article written 9 years ago about how you have a 2-year-old daughter? What?
Kendrick did say, hey, you got a 15-year-old daughter that you don't even...
I'm sorry, you don't get to make pretend rap music and then use black people as an aesthetic when it's convenient for you and say this in your music. Aubrey, I'm gonna need you to pick one.
What did he say?
You don't get to make pretend rap music and then use black people as an aesthetic when it's convenient for you and say this in your music. And during this Kendrick beef, Drake's made even more songs that are just as bad, if not worse. In Tailor-Made Freestyle, Drake had fake Snoop Dogg say this crazy shit.
I know you never been to jail, orange jumpsuits and shower shoes. Never shot nobody, never stabbed nobody.
Yeah,
never did
I thought that Snoop Dogg came at him for this shit. Like, yo, bro, what you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? And then he deleted the shit.
That empower you.
Do you realize how gross that is for a privileged Canadian child actor to tell someone from Compton that they're not hood enough because they've never shot or stabbed anyone before? The level of disconnect you have to actually say that out loud and think it's good. Drake believes that shooting someone is what makes you black because his only real connection to being black is what he hears in the superficial bullshit music that he listens to.
Oh, Lil Wayne's just too good.
Which is fine. No.
Is that the same thing he said when he was like going 2 souls on Lil Wayne's woman? oh, I see now what Wayne didn't want to let you go.
Rational person is gonna hate on you because you were raised by white people. It's not that deep. But your lack of self-awareness and extreme levels of arrogance are what
I always feel like people who want to be accepted by some different type of people, they normally will do shit that are not normal. It's like, for instance, you have, like, you know, Dave Chappelle made a joke like this before. He goes, you have a couple of black friends that have one white dude who's the friend, but the white dude will do more crazy shit than the black people.
To this public ass beating that you just took. And side note, who in their right mind would get into a rap beef with Kendrick Lamar when you're this much of a fraud? I would be sending that dude free verses every month just to keep him happy. Especially when I know I'm a pervert? What's wrong with you?
How old are you?
Yeah, I saw this video and imagine this. This is why Kendrick pointed out. Kendrick says, all these people
And the third thing that this horrible AI verse tells us is that you don't know anything about Kendrick Lamar because nothing about him is trying to act hard or street at all.
From Compton, I could have easily came out and said, I did this, I did that. I done killed a whole bunch of niggas out in front. But that ain't me. I'd rather talk about my reality. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather talk about something a little bit more deeper than that.
If anything, he's probably done more than what he alludes to, which is the opposite of what you do, which is why this whole thing was so ironic, Mr. Tuna.
And you know, that's why I like Kendrick. He is talking his music, he's talking about his experience. And this is why I say when you listen to Kendrick Lamar's songs, it's like you're watching a movie. He tells you a story from, it doesn't matter what the song is, every song in there tells your story. His last album, I can't even tell you how many times I've listened to the album. From I don't know what the song's name is, the one where he's having an argument with a girl. That shit was so passionate. So, because people go through that in life. And then he talks about his pain, talk about his auntie, one of his family members coming out as gay. Bro, all I'm getting for Drake is shake your ass, shake your booty to your booty to your pa. Man, after a while, I'm gonna get like, bro, I don't want to listen to this guy when I want to like be cool, chill, and just relax and like, you know what I mean, get my brain to exercise, to learn something new. He's the last nigga I will listen to. The only time I listen to him is when I want to go out or when I'm gonna get ready to go out. And I can listen to Kendrick Lamar when I want to go out too. But I feel like, yo, this man is a living legend right now. And I personally want to listen to him when I'm on the right state, chilling, have my whiskey in my hand, relaxing, and just like, yo, I'm just letting his song just guide me. That 1 hour I'm listening to him, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. And I got all his albums.
A bagel. And on the next song, Family Matters, Drake does the exact same thing. He does it twice in a row.
You know who really bang except my nigga YG. You know who really bang except my nigga Chuck T.
You know who really bangs the set? My nigga YG. He really bangs. Yeah, they really bang. Yeah. Black people, am I standing right? Is this right? Is this cool? Am I cool? Am I strong? Am I a man? Daddy, am I a man? Daddy, am I a man? Gross. I can literally feel your insecurities seeping through the screen like a gay virus. Please get a hold of yourself and become a better person.
Sometimes, like, you know, some of like my blackest friends can be just as cruel on the other end, you know, by making you feel excluded, or making you feel like you can't get in on this. And sometimes I do feel like, sometimes I don't feel celebrated when I know maybe somebody else would be celebrated for those accomplishments, you know? I don't feel like people say, when Drake is the artist of the decade, I don't think anybody says, wow, a black artist is the artist of the decade. I don't think anybody...
He probably doesn't like it when people don't give him the flowers that he thinks he deserves. It's not that people don't want to give Drake his flowers. People don't want to give him flowers because they feel like he's fake. Like you're an actor. They feel like you're acting. They feel like his whole career has been a fucking movie. Like, and he is basically, he's milking it. And also no one is saying that, hey, bro, you can't come out here and make money and do your thing, but don't put baggy stuff on. Don't be like pointing fake guns like this, like you're a gangster. Because when the time comes for you, it's the same thing as 6ix9ine. He was not a gangster. And then 6ix9ine, when he went to court, guess what he did? He snitched on everyone.
Says that really? I never heard anybody say that in the last few weeks.
See, Drake, this is why so many black people refuse to acknowledge your blackness. Because you'll be the one to perpetuate every single negative black stereotype, from the drugs, to the violence, to the misogynistic shit. But anytime there's a chance for you to speak out against any sort of injustice or any social issues in your music, you never do it. Because you want to appeal to the widest demographic possible. You've proven over and over and over again that you'd rather be a corporation than an artist, which is fine, but you have to realize the choices that you've made and deal with them. Corporations aren't normally the ones who get embraced by the culture. Artists do. And my friend, you haven't been an artist in a long time. Most of the music you've made over this past decade has been vapid and forgettable. I'm sorry. Drake, you are 37 years old. You should have figured out by now that buying the 5th purse for the Instagram model who fucked half the Houston Rockets basketball team probably isn't going to be...
And he ain't going to learn, because you know what? Because Drake's downfall is going to be a woman. It's going to be a woman. It's going to be all these little girls that he's trying, like, yo, when this man...
the best way to her heart. I outgrew your lyrics when I was 17 years old. You are almost 40. why are we still on this shit? I'm no life coach, but I think it's a good idea for you to maybe take some time off of the music and work on developing as a person, okay? Because you have the personality of a 16-year-old bisexual frat boy. I bet that all your fans would prefer for you to come back in 2 to 3 years with a great album instead of just putting out a mediocre mixtape every 6 months.
My top 5 is Drake.
Well, maybe not all your fans, but most of them. And speaking of your fans, Drake, we're sending out cease and desist letters for people breaking down your lyrics.
I got a cease and desist from OVO for that video. All I did was break down your lyrics, Drake. I don't know what the problem is.
Very slimy, very corporate move, my friend. Now, I know I've been shitting on our boy Aubrey here for a while now, but I do want to give him his props. He is somebody that has accomplished so much in a genre he was definitely not supposed to succeed in. I can't even imagine how much that would hurt when everybody that you looked up to thinks you're a corny ass bitch and they say that shit about you publicly.
I don't like anything about Drake.
T.I.'s friend urinated on him. Imagine.
Mom, I don't like his voice. I don't like what he talks about. I don't. See, I be trying to tell these face. I don't like the way he walks. Like nothing. I don't like his haircut.
You know, like that's really gotta stay.
I love DMX, man. R.I.P. to my nigga DMX.
He kept getting up and he kept making music, and that is truly admirable. That's something we could all take from Drake, honestly. Okay, now back to shitting.
And more tune for your head top, so watch how you speak on my name, you know?
Drake's history with street life has always been incredibly fascinating to me. And look, I know that hip hop and gang life have been linked since the very beginning, but if there was ever a rapper who should have been able to avoid that path, it'd be this guy.
Huh? You're not that anything or that intriguing?
No, I'm an anomaly.
Did you have trouble saying that word?
I don't know why I did.
Try it again.
I'm an anomaly.
Good job.
I didn't want to overpronounce it like that either. I'm an anomaly.
But from what I've gathered, Drake really is in that life. Well, I mean, kinda. It's still Drake, but you'll see. Drake was actually first discovered on MySpace by a guy named Jazz Prince, who was the son of Jay Prince, and Jay Prince is basically like the kingpin of hip-hop. See, Jay Prince is one of those guys that when you come to his city, you definitely need to check in. And if you check in, everything should be fine. But if you don't check in, you're gonna have some problems.
I got your keys to your Rolls Royce. I got your keys to your McLaren.
But Jay Prince and Drake are very close. So close that during the Meek Mill beef, when Drake performed back-to-back in Philly, Meek Mill had 100 to 200 goons outside ready to beat some Drake ass.
We're 100, 200 deep. Dream chasers. You gonna press this nigga Drake. He disrespectful.
Jay Prince was the one who came outside and de-escalated everything. He also stopped the feud between Drake
I bet you Drake made that phone call, you know.
Kanye and Drake and Pusha T. Drake and Kendrick, not so much, but hey, you know, you can't win them all. Next up, we got Chubbs, Drake's right-hand man and head of security. This man, Chubbs, allegedly beat up a producer named Detail who didn't want to sign an exclusive deal with Drake, breaking his jaw and putting him in the hospital. And Detail actually ended up suing Drake, but because he didn't show up to the court date, the lawsuit just ended up getting thrown out altogether. And Detail has never spoken of this since, so this is all very interesting, very odd information. It's alleged that Detail was afraid for his life and that's why he never showed up to the court date, but hey, you know, I wasn't there and I'm definitely not getting sued by some bitch with an owl logo, so I don't know what happened. This is a man who has allegedly beaten up civilians for wearing anti-Drake clothing in Toronto. What anti-Drake clothing looks like, I don't know, but that's pretty crazy if that happens.
Saying that an anti-Drake clothing could be Drake is fake, Drake is a fraud, Drake is shit.
Chubbs was part of that Canadian gang life before he elevated to being Drake's #1 henchman, and he even ended up bringing some people into OVO that he used to run with, like Baka Not Nice. Drake's self-proclaimed goon.
He didn't label me as his goon. I labeled myself as his goon.
Who is technically signed to OVO. Remember, he's the guy with that one song.
Louis pouch across my body, this is not for fashion.
You know what else he's got? Sex trafficking allegations and a plea to assaulting a 22-year-old woman. But hey, if he's good enough for Drizzy, he's good enough for me.
Call him. I'll message him at 3 in the morning, you know, when I come home from the studio and just be like, yo, you know, I bless you, you know, Father, I call him father, you know, like, and that's just a sign of respect, you know, in Jamaica, you know. And I'd be like, yo, you know, respect Dada, you know, because, yo, you
Which grown-ass man in this world will call another man that's not his father and go like, hey, what's up, father? What's up, daddy? What's up, Dada? Are you crazy, bro? What the fuck? I don't, like, are you, what?
give me a chance, you know.
You call your friend at 3 in the morning to thank him randomly and call him Dada. Interesting. We also have Drake's longtime connection to the Halal Gang with his cosigns of people like Moji and Safe. Speaking of Moji, he's another person who spoke out against Drake and his camps, saying how they had him and several others writing flows and hooks for Drake's next forgettable album.
Have you ever heard
Maybe
in the
that's
history of hip-hop a man that gives away his creativity and helps make Billboard hits but doesn't get paid $1 for it, one credit for it, and here's stuck in the hood.
And next thing you know, he's beaten up and sent to the hospital. Very interesting how this pattern keeps happening. Drake, I just love how he just cares so much for the small artists. Isn't he just a great guy? And then of course we can't forget about Drake's #1 shooter, Top 5.
Yeah, I'm Drake Shooter.
Oh shit.
For the record, this is someone who became famous for taking shirtless selfies, but who am I to judge? I mean, no one said this man is the sharpest tool in the shed. He did just tell himself to tens of thousands of people, totally unprompted.
Yeah, I'm Drake Shooter.
Mad. Oh, that's mad.
I'm not lying to you. Anybody disrespect Drake, I'm shooting.
But you know, when you're the leader of the Go Get 'em gang, I guess you just move a little different.
Wait, what's GGG?
Go Get 'em gang.
Go Get 'em gang. All right. So y'all are the
This
top
is why people sometimes they're out there snitching on themselves. When you're doing videos like this, you're doing interviews, you have to know what you're talking about because people are listening. So what if person this Go Get 'em gang has been known of doing something and they're investigating them, and now you're saying that you're part of that gang? Now you're part of the investigation.
us when it comes to Toronto.
Go Get 'em gang? Are you a bunch of Scooby-Doo villains from 1963 or am I missing something? Bloods, Yakuza, MS-13, Go Get 'em gang.
One of these things is not like the others.
It's so disgusting to me that Drake is using his money and his fame so that he can live out his little Godfather fantasies. Like, can't you just learn boxing?
That's why
something?
the man built a big mansion so that he can be like, I'm a king, this is mine.
We all understand that you struggle with your masculinity. It's as clear as day. But I promise you, there are healthier, less destructive ways of dealing with these issues. You know what I mean? Like, do you have to use poor black people as your little chess pieces so that you can feel adequate as a man? Drake is the prime example of what happens when you let your insecurities control you and turn you into something you're not. Someone who steals songs from smaller artists, someone who will
and
have
famous people.
Artists from your city, oh, I care so much about Toronto, blah, 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 who will have those artists jumped because they make Instagram posts, allegedly. And ultimately, this goofy ass behavior has led Drake to have the worst public ass beating I have ever seen. And honestly, I think it's a win for humanity. I'm gonna be real. I think that's what a great artist is supposed to do. They're supposed to say, hey, this part of our culture, I know it's popular, I know we all love it, but this is bullshit. This is hurting us. We can do better than this.
I like this video. You know, come out. You did a great video. I was planning to do something similar like this, but I didn't have the time to put all of this stuff together. And plus, I'm also like cleaning my whole house. Gotta get ready. I'm going on holiday. So if you don't see me for like, I don't know, 10 days, 11 days doing any videos, that's because I'm on holiday, all right? Chilling with family and stuff. Before I come back and start doing, and thank God we are all shining a light on Drake's behavior. This man, right? He is something else. He's a snake. He's a chameleon. I don't like him. I don't trust him. I don't know him personally. I don't care about him, but I hate dodgy people. I hate sneaky dodgy people. When you're out here stealing people's work and making it yours and then pretend yourself you are the best ish in the world, come on, bro. Come on. People like us, anyone that has a microphone should come out and speak about you and point the light at you and say, hey, this guy that everybody's supporting and whatsoever, this guy is a chameleon. Changes. Everywhere he goes, he adopts and change. He's never himself. And you can't trust people like that, you know. Like I said, I don't know him personally. And I don't want to know him personally. I don't even care. The only reason why I'm doing this video is because I always knew something was sneaky about this nigga. The moment I start hearing, like back in the days, the moment I start hearing that this guy had ghostwriters, I knew there was more to it. And then now, after Kendrick Lamar has shined a light and we can see this guy, he's on his truest form as he is as a person. Come on, we have to shine more lights on him so that the whole world know who this guy is. I won't be surprised if there's some PP stuff coming out and then we find out this guy is being involved in some dodgy, weird stuff in his big mansion that he's built. The more videos I find out there about him, the more I'm going to make these videos. And I'm going to talk about it until we all shine a light on this nigga. Anyway, if you like the video, press like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace!